Hello! Welcome back to our Gone Solo Keyforge Secrets of the Crucible campaign. I hope you've been enjoying the campaign as it's unfolding. I've had a lot of fun discovering all the little twists and turns along the way. It's been a blast. So, quick recap from our last episode. Doseep has a secret mission from a more secret level of the Saurian Arbitrators Guild. He knows about the Martian plans to use plants to develop new hypnotic technologies, but Fabum does not know. And so, but she was getting closer and closer to discovering that Doseep's mission and her mission to investigate the mysterious cargo at Transtech were actually the same mission. So she found a Martian facility. She checked in with her local contact Smooey, who had captured a Martian medic. So she slowly came to the same conclusion. And then as they were about to leave, because Doseep had been encouraging her to just get up and go home so that he could return his secret package that he had gotten, they found or oversaw, as they were flying over, Martians imprisoning some of the silicates, and Bay among them. And it was probably a bad idea, but they swooped out and attacked. They were able to rescue some of the silicates, but in the maneuvering, Doseep's secret was revealed, and Fabum was very upset that she had been kept out of the loop. They got some of the silicates back to the village, at which point their hypnotic programming, clipped in, and chaos broke out, and they had to leave once again, and left Fabum unsure whether she can trust Doseep, and left all sorts of things up in the air. So that is where we are leaving things, or where we're starting things. So I think where we'll start is, because they're still in the air, they've got the cutting of the plant, and they've got a data pad that has information about these hypnotic plants. And Doseep is a scientist and did say in the last episode that he might be able to come up with a way to break the hypnotic hold, but it takes time to develop, and it may not be totally safe. So with that and where they're at, I think Fabum wants to go back to Smooey, to the captured medic, use the medic's knowledge, Doseep's knowledge, and whatever resources they have to try to come up with a way to break the hypnotic control. So that's what they are going to at least attempt to do. And as we know, that doesn't always happen. So first we got to roll our chaos die. Our chaos is currently 7. All right. Oh, we rolled an 8. Okay, so that proceeds as planned. So they take their chariot down into Smooey's area, which is a bit removed from the village. Smooey comes out of his little hut of bioluminescent vines and says, well, I've been hearing some fighting, and what's going on? Fabum says, it's bad. There are silicates that are hypnotized. We let them loose in the village. It's a mess. We may have hurt some of them in our attack. The Martians are probably coming to attack. It's a mess. We need do you still have the medic? And somebody says, oh, yes, yeah. I've still got him tied up. We're all good to go. He's petting his fuzzy groin. Okay, so first, Fabum is going to try to, charm the Martian medic into helping them, maybe in exchange for the medic's freedom. So we're going to roll that up. Okay, so a success with a threat. So the Martian says, I agree, but you need to untie me now. Fabum agrees. And so she turns to Dosip and says, all right, you said you might be able to develop some sort of way to break the hypnotic suggestion. This Martian is going to help you. You've got the cutting, you've got the data pad. What can you do? So we're going to roll this up. Pretty difficult, but I'm going to give him a boost from the information that he has, and I'm also going to give him a boost from the medic. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, oh wow. Okay, 5 successes with just 1 threat. So Dosip is kind of putting things together, and he's operating, and the medic is kind of giving little pointers or indicators about what they know about how things work. They, just because I think it would be cool, they sort of attach a module onto Fabum's Dream Ray. So she's able to fire and dispel the hypnotic suggestion with her gun. With the 1 threat, with the small threat, let's say that there's there's some dizziness or there's some confusion that happens for a little bit after that time. But with all of these successes, massive success, we're going to call it that it works pretty well, and Dosip is able to come up with a pretty good solution. So after that, they agree to let the medic go, because at this point it doesn't really matter. Everything's total chaos anyway. They've got the attachment on her Dream Ray. Let's say that Dosip is able to get one on his weapon too. We haven't specified anything for his weapon. He's got some sort of standard issue arbitrator gun. Great. So there we go. Seems pretty good to me. Things are going pretty well. Chaos factor drops to 6. All right. So now that they are supplied and they're going on, they can still hear, fighting in the distance. They're going to get back on the chariot that Pterosaur is doing in so much work, and they're going to fly back into the village to try to free as many people as they can. So that's where we're headed. Gonna roll for our chaos factor. A 1, that is definitely lower than 6, and that's gonna alter our scene. Okay, so we're gonna alter the scene. We're gonna change whatever expectations about the scene. I had said earlier that the fighting is still going on, but maybe not. Is that the case? Is the fighting still going on? 71. No. Okay. So the fighting has stopped. Have the hypnotized silicates taken? Have they taken control? Have they won, or have they fled? So have the hypnotized silicates taken control? 42. Yes. Okay. So they fly over to the village. They find it empty, but they can tell that there's a large movement of silicates off into the distance, heading back towards the compound. And so away from the village, on this path, on this trail, the hypnotized silicates are capturing all the rest of the silicates, and they're going to take them back to the facility. Okay, so they feel pretty confident about their weapons going to be able to work. So I think they're just going to try to fly over and just like hit as many and break as much of the hypnotic suggestions as possible. Okay, so Fabum fired, and that was a threat of 2. So she did. She did not succeed. And instead, as she fires, she misses, and now some of the civilians are confused. And not only that, the the hypnotized silicates now are aware of their presence, and they're going to immediately fire back on their chariot, which is still damaged. They did not have time, did not have resources or effort to repair it. The chariot is still damaged. So let's see what these hypnotized silicates are able to do. Hit success with some threats. So we're just going to go ahead and call that another damage. Okay, so the chariot is in real bad shape now. Doseep is going to try to get some shots off. He's not very good at shooting, but he'll do what he can. Okay, he also does not succeed with threats, and so the competent Doseep fires again hit civilians, and now they're confused, and so really they're just hitting civilians. They are not hitting the people that they need to hit. This is going so poorly. Fabum says, "We need to try something else." She's going to try to land the chariot in front of the procession, the marching order, to block it off, and then also kind of like get closer to be able to get some better shots. So she's going to try a piloting. Oh, okay. So that is a triumph and a success and some threat. So, yes, she's able to get in front. She blocks it off. She got a good shot, and she's even got some cover. And this is a triumph, so that's great success. And the hypnotized silicates are a little stunned, and they don't know what to do. So she gets up some shots. All right. A shot off with advantage. So she's able to get a shot off with her Dreamwave. One of the hypnotized silicates kind of like loses control. The red eyes fade, and then knocks into another one who falls over. The silicates who are still hypnotized try to get some of their shots off. Okay, ooh. Big damage. Okay, so they, now that they're using the chariot as a barrier, that finally does the last of the damage to the chariot. It can't take any more. It's not going to be able to fly. And they're not going to be able to get back up off the ground without repairing it, which they're not going to do because they're in the middle of battle. All right, Doseep trying to shoot. Yes, another success with advantage. So they are just taking shots. They're disrupting the hypnosis. They're getting it all off. All right, let's say we just need a little bit more. Let's see how Fabum's last shot that goes. All right. Ooh, that one does not go. Very bad failure. So a failure, but with an advantage. So she misses, but instead hits like a branch or a vine of a tree, and that falls over behind the silicates, and so now there's no escape. They're not going to be able to get out. Those keep getting some shots off. All right. Oh, another miss and a threat. Ooh. So he, maybe hits Bay, but a little bit hard, and Bay like kind of stumbles back because remember Bay is still hypnotized, and that's not looking good. So like Bay maybe gets a little bit extra injured. All right, here we go. Silicates are firing. They also miss. All right, one last one. We just need one good thing going on here. Fabum, to finish this off. All right, I hit with a threat. So with one last blast, they get rid of the last hypnotized silicate. They break it off, but in all the chaos and all the confusion and all the mistakes that they've made along the way, everyone is confused and injured, and it's just a huge big mess that they've come into. So they've freed these silicates, but everybody's real beat up or confused. It's going to take everybody a little bit to get settled. So they just kind of like try to contain everyone and help them out. They're sort of going around trying to tend to everyone, just trying to calm them down. Dosip is, doing his best to try to allay the effects of the confusion and the stunned. Fabum is looking over the chariot, and it's bad. It looks bad. They not only they don't really have the skills. Well, let me check Dosip's. He might, but they don't have any supplies. They don't have any tools. And it's going to take time, and they don't know how much time they have. They've freed the village, but what we assume is that the Martians are on their way. So is that the case? Are the Martians on their way? 50. Yes. On a scale of 1 to 6, how soon before they get here? 4. Okay, so they've got some time, maybe a little bit more time than they would have anticipated. So, seeing as how they have maybe a little bit of time, and they're maybe sort of aware of this, they don't see any Martians, they don't hear any Martian activity. They sort of feel like they've got a little bit more time. Fabum says, we need to get everybody back to the village and back to safety. And Dosip says, yes, I agree. So once everybody is feeling kind of ready to go, they kind of all pack up. They're able to help the injured ones. And they all head back to the village, where they're able to start to get settled and to make camp. Oh, also, before they leave, Fabum goes to the chariot, unhooks the pterosaur, and says, "You're free. If you can, go get help. And if not, I wish you the best. Thank you for your service, and you are released from duty." So, we're going to call that a scene. Chaos is going to go back up to 7, just because things are kind of like, it wasn't a super easy success. Okay, so for this next scene, they've all gathered at the Silicate Village. They're anticipating a retaliation from the Martians at the Martian compound. But they've got a little bit of time. They're going to use that time to build up their defenses, and sort of set up and be prepared for that. So we always got to roll for our chaos die. 8. Okay, so things go as normal. On a scale of 1 to 6, what kind of force do the Martians have? 4. Okay, so as the Martian patrol is approaching, it's large enough that they are probably aware of that it's coming. The question I have is, are the Martians themselves also under hypnotic control, i.e. can Fabum and Dosip disrupt, or are the Martians just loyal to their cause? See. So are the Martians also under hypnotic control? I'm going to say that is very unlikely. So 54, no, they're not under. So the hypnotic weapons, disruption weapons aren't going to work on that. So here they come. Fabum and Dosip, change their weapons to be able to actually hit. Fabum's going to get an early shot off. A miss, but an advantage. So she shoots off, but she doesn't do any damage, but she does kind of disrupt the Martian patrol and kind of scare them off. Let's see. We're just going to test, like, the Martians start barraging the barrier. They're not able to break through or do any damage to the barrier. And in fact, like some of the rubble and debris kind of like comes down and then like disrupts and makes the area right in front sort of difficult to navigate terrain. The silicates, are their weapons like remotely going to be able to stand up against the Martians? I'm going to say that's unlikely. Are they going to be able to stand up? 49. Oh, yes. Okay, so they can. So they'll be okay. They sort of have some preparation. They've got, they've got things made out of rocks, and maybe they have some rocks that can kind of explode and that kind of thing. So they are going to launch some of their rocks and explosions. All right. But they're not able to make any sort of hit. Still at a standstill. Fabum's gonna take her shot. Ooh, she gets a big hit, a big damage hit, but a big threat. 5 threats. That's a lot. She's firing up from her location up on the barrier, and she's able to do some pretty good damage to take out at least one of the scouts. But in doing so, she falls over the barrier, and now she sort of tumbles down, and she's out on the other side of the barrier. She's no longer protected. She's out on the side, and Martians. Well, who are they going to target? Are they going to target Fabum, or are they going to target the barrier? 1, 2, 3, Fabum. 4, 5, 6, barrier. Okay. They're able to get a hit off of on Fabum. So she is going to see, she's got the 4. Okay, so she is going to take some damage here. Okay. More projectiles from the silicates. Oh, great. Okay, so they get a triumph. A big explosive rock kind of comes over, explodes, knocks out like a piece of, whatever their carts are, their equipment. There's a big explosion. A bunch of the scouts kind of go scrambling. Fabum kind of takes this moment and says, look, is this worth it? Whatever experiment that you've got going on, whatever you've promised to your elders, do you really want to risk it on a village of silicates? Look what they've been able to do with that massive explosion. You have a choice. You can turn around right now, or you can face your doom. She's using her coercion. Trying her best. We gotta play it towards the skills that we're good at. Nope. They're not interested. At this point, okay, they're just gonna keep. Are they gonna try to, try to go capture or eliminate Fabum, or are they gonna work on the barrier? Okay, they turn their focus to the barrier. All right. Oh, they're able to do some damage to the barrier, so we'll kind of mark that off. Again, this is all sort of abstracted. So the Martians come back. You've got their laser guns. And the barrier starts to shake and crumble a little bit. The silicates launch more, but make no impact at all. I have a question. Does the pterosaur able to come back with reinforcements? I'd say that's very unlikely, but we'll see. 34. Yes. So now the pterosaur comes back, and the pterosaur has summoned like the creatures of the jungle to their aid, because they've also been impacted, I assume, by the Martian facility. So now the Martians are stunned as on every side creatures from the jungle rush in, and they're able to do a lot of damage. But now things are just totally out of control. And so there's creatures and beasts of every shape and size imaginable, totally disrupting the Martians, and it's just totally nuts. And this is like way more than they bargained for. Do the Martians give up at this point? I'd say again, very unlikely. But yes, they're done. Between the silicates, explosive rock weapons, and now the pterosaur flying around, and all these creatures of the jungles coming out. The Martian leader, whatever commander, said, "We're out of here. Let's retreat." And the Martians retreat back to their facility. Fabum is able to get back inside the barrier, and the silicates are cheering, "Hooray, hooray, hooray!" And they've done it, and they've fought off the Martians, and their people are free from the hypnotic suggestions. This hasn't, we don't know what might happen in the future, but for now, they've pushed back the aggressors, and they're feeling pretty good. And that night, the silicates have like a big celebration. Bay's, playing on his flute, do for everyone, do, and they're all gathered around the fire. And afterwards, Fabum takes Bay kind of off and said, I know you said that maybe things couldn't work out between us, but was that because of the you were under hypnotic control? Did you mean to say those things? Can we still maybe work this out, be together? Were they just saying no because of the hypnotic suggestions? Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. Bay says, yes, I just bit of the control. I didn't mean to say any of those things. I do really like you, Fabum, and I've enjoyed the time we've got to spend together while you're working in our village, and I'm sorry that I've been mind-controlled for most of it. But yes, I think I'm interested in exploring where this can go. And so with that, yeah, they embrace, and they celebrate. Later, Fabum goes back and checks in with Doseep and says, I knew that you couldn't share what you were working on, but seems like I figured it out anyway. Doseep says, well, I've been in contact with the Saurian Arbitrators Guilds, and level 9, whatever they call it, within it. We've got reinforcements on the way. They're going to help secure the situation, and I think they might be a little bit interested in the work that you've done, so I'll put in a good word for you. Fabum says, thank you very much. And so for now, we have resolved these situations, and we're going to bring this campaign to a close. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a delight to kind of go on this journey. I am ready to wrap this up and move into other projects, which I'll talk about in my next video. But for now, we're going to say goodbye. We're going to say the end. I hope we got that to a great place. And we'll see you for the next one. Thanks so much.